Hi everyone, Andy here at Spymaster Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and a very warm welcome if it's your first time joining us. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the Landsknecht Ogres box by Wargames Atlantic on screen now. A really versatile kit that can be used to build some ogres for either fantasy or sci-fi games. Before we go any further though, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. I am still relatively new to YouTube, so anything that can be done to help grow the channel would be greatly appreciated. So, Landsknecht Ogres. Landsknecht being the old Germanic fighting mercenaries for the Holy Roman Empire that wielded two-handed swords, known as Zweihanders, which just means two-hander in German. They were present in the Warhammer fantasy world as well, this style of ogre, very much so before they sort of evolved into what we now know as the Ogre tribes, which have a more sort of Mongolian Khanate look about them. That's how they were designed. But once upon a time, they had a look of donning the clothes and the weaponry of the humans that they were fighting alongside. It is a bit resurgent in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We have seen one character in the Cursed City release a couple of years ago, Brutal Corpse Eater. And with the upcoming Cities of Sigmar range as well, we've seen an ogre with his pal on top of his shoulders in the crow's nest with a sniper rifle. So Games Workshop are actually bringing that aesthetic back, which is nice to see. Alternatively, if you're a 40k player, Ogryn with the Astra Militarum, Ogryn being genetically mutated humans that are bigger, stronger, and dumber than most humans and will kill anything that you point them to go and kill without question. This box is enough to basically build 3 boxes worth of Ogryn from Games Workshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 2 sprues from the box. These sprues are duplicated 3 times. So I will only be showing three of the sculpts, but those 3 sculpts are duplicated 3 times. And then I'm going to show you a couple of builds that I'll have made, and then I'll do a bit of a cost comparison. If you did want to think about proxying these models into either an Age of Sigmar force or a Warhammer 40k force, or obviously if you just want to use them in a normal fantasy game, then crack on, because they are such cool sculpts. So without further ado, I'll just give you a quick rundown of these sprues. So with the first sprue, the first thing to notice is the massive amount of heads. There's probably about 10 heads on here alone. Different varieties with your sort of explorer, Marco Polo-esque cavalier helmets. 3 breastplates to go on the 3 torsos. You'll notice the slash marks in the back of the jerkins there, just so it's really, really traditionally like a Landsknecht should be, and the baggy pants as well. Really good variety of heads. You've got 3 sci-fi rifles, 3 medieval style rifles, as well as double-handed weapons on this sprue. Really clean, crisp sculpts. No real issues with mold lines, what I can see. And yeah, the variety is absolutely staggering. No one needs that many heads, but it's always good for your bits box. On the second sprue, you've got the accessories, where you've got sort of the offhand weapons, or if you want to go single-handed weapons and bucklers in the offhand. You've got some GI style helmets there, which are pretty cool, as well as an ogre head with a beret if you want a commando leader, and a tankard, because ogres will need tankards in the field. Pistols to glue on the back of the belts, as well as sheathed swords. More two-handed weapons, and some halberds with the heads separate from them as well. I cannot get over the variety, and to think there's 6 of these in one box, it's really, really good value for money. So much customization available. I don't think I've seen it on another kit for quite a long time. So there we have it. Those 2 sprues duplicated 3 times in a box for a really, really good price. I'll come on to the actual price in a moment, but first I want to show you a couple of figures I've built from those sprues that you've seen there, just to show you how sort of adaptable this kit can be. So first up, here we have a character that I've called Aragash the Head Taker. I'm going to be using him in a Mordheim campaign I'm currently taking part in. I've gone for the traditional Executioner's hood and the axe there. I've kit bashed an old part of an Empire war wagon, I think. Actually, I don't know where it came from. I just found it in my bits box. But that's his head basket now, ready to go and execute the enemies of his warband when he comes across them on the streets of Mordheim. Really, really good and easy to paint. I've only used contrast paints here, but you can see that the colour finds the recesses nicely, and all of the detail is really well defined as well. Couldn't fault it at all putting it together. No issues whatsoever, and really, really characterful. I've just put up a normal Empire figure next to the ogre for scale there, so you can see that he towers a good couple of heads above everyone normal that he's going to be fighting alongside. So really, really good, really, really thematic. Next up, I've gone for the sci-fi build, and I've gone for the Nick Fury of Commando Ogryn. Giving him the beret with the cigar in his mouth there, ready to take on the enemies of the Empire, and a shotgun as well. Really, really cool. What I like about the military arms is they've done away with the Landsknecht shirts on the arms. Instead, they've gone for more sort of more normal fatigue, I should say. The trousers are still there, but giving him just a wash with a green contrast paint there, you can see that it looks more military than, say, fancy. And I think would blend in quite well, especially when you use those heads that I showed you with the GI helmets. So there's a couple of examples. We'll come on to price now. £25, €32, or $35 American. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the Australian dollar price, but if you do know, drop it in the comments below, because that would help me out, because I think it's only fair, as obviously those are the main markets when comparing to Games Workshop. So, with the kit breakdown, how much can you actually save if you bought from Games Workshop directly, if you wanted to use these as proxies? So from an Ogryn perspective, for UK, you would need to buy 3 boxes of Ogryn to be able to build what you can build from this one kit. And that, in of itself, is quite expensive if we consider that, one box alone is £37.50. So if we use my advice and find a seller which gives you a 20% discount, it would cost you £90. It would cost you 144 US dollars or 120 euros. The savings from this one box, then, buying one box in comparison to the 3 boxes. If you're in the UK, you would save £75. If you are in the US, you would save $109, and you would save 88 euros. So substantial savings from one box there. Really, really good. Now, what if you're an Ogre More Tribes player or you want to use them in Age of Sigmar? So, with the 9 figures here, you could easily build a box of Gluttons, or the ones with the guns. I forget what they're called. Sorry, someone let me know in the comments below. As well as you could kit bash 3 individual figures to be man-eaters. Man-eaters being some of the most expensive figures and the oldest figures that Games Workshop have on their site. So you could make some substantial savings here from just the one box. If you were to compare and contrast that with Games Workshop prices at a 20% discount, you would save £51, you would save 68 euros, or 93 American dollars. So again, really good savings to be had there. Let me know what you think of the models. Do you think you could see a place for them in your armies, or do they inspire you to create your own force? Let me know. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.